guys, this is Lord Chael speaking on behalf of our show sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. They allow you to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so you can officially call yourself a lord or a lady. Established Titles is not just about your ego. You also get to do some good. In addition to your new fancy title, Established Titles supports global charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to help with the afforestation effort. Your title pack gets you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land in a private estate in Scotland. Your certificate features a unique plot number where you can see the exact location of your land. And right now, Established Titles is holding 200 plots of land right next to mine. So come join me in the Bad Guy Inc. Kingdom. Getting this certificate even allows you to officially change your name to Lord or Lady. Put it on your credit card, put it on your plane tickets, or if you're so inclined, put it on your dating profile. Makes for a great last-minute gift, and there's even couples packs that come with adjoining plots of land. Established Titles is having a great limited time sale. Go to establishedtitles.com/Chael to save 10% off today. Remember to use the promo code Chael or just click on the link below. Sterling Cejudo. Guys, what do you want to do here? I mean, what do you want to do with this? Now, I would love to sit back and watch everybody make their move, then come in and scold them and tell them they did the wrong thing. I mean, like, that appears to be a very Chael-esque favorite. I don't give them the answers ahead of time. I wait till they do it, then I come in and tell them why they do it wrong. Now, that could be very annoying to some. I enjoy doing that. I get a little bit of a kick out of it. Now, Sterling has been non-committal. As a matter of fact, let me go a little bit further. I have statements from Sterling post-fight, okay, talking about since his successful defense was at 280 versus TJ Dillashaw. I have 2 statements and they don't go together. Now, I would never hold a fighter to something he said right after a match, win or lose. It's this very weird state of mind. But it was that, hey, don't ask me about it. I'm going to take some time off. At some point, and he went with that. He beat that drum a few times. At some point, we even got till June of next year. That got stated. But now I got another interview. I got another interview with Aljo, who says, yeah, we're going to do it in Perth. It's me and Henry. Okay, but I don't know which one to listen to because now I've got Henry on social media known as Instagram, confirmed by social media known as Twitter. And Henry's going after Sugar Sean pretty heavy. And Sugar Sean's always had his problems with Henry. The problem there, as I see it, is it looks as though Sugar Sean has a world title waiting for him. It looks as though it's Sean versus Sterling. Now, of course, it looks that way in the absence of Henry Cejudo, who is a world champion who never lost the belt, who, if he wants to step back in, of course, would qualify to go right for the opportunity. So see where things get complicated. Then you have Chito Vera, who is for sure a #1 contender, who's kind of laying back and recently has been associated with his great nemesis, Sugar Sean, to get them together to do a fight, and it's going to be for a belt. Oh, by the way, it's going to be for an interim belt. Now, we generally do an interim belt when the champion is hurt and or sick. The champion's not hurt and or sick, but he did release an interview that he's going to be sitting on ice until June. Do you guys see where this is a mess? Like, at no point in our career can we have a champion who is healthy, who is able, but who is unwilling, and therefore we interim the belt. That is absolutely not what interim is for. That is what stripping is for. If a guy is ready, able, and unwilling. But I want to make sure that you understand this. We don't give him a break and put him on hiatus and then find other guys to do things until the champion feels mentally up for it. That's just not how this works. That would take you into a category. Yes, we do have an answer for that. Yes, we do have a mechanism. That's called stripping. So to bring this to everyone's attention before we go any further with having an idea that we're going to interim the 35-pound belt because Aljo wants a vacation till June. Okay. But once we're there, we're all on the same page. And you want to know who would agree with me? Might have had to hear me say that, but you want to know who would agree with me after it was said? Aljo. He said, yeah, you're right. You're right. If I can't go in a timely fashion, then I can't be the champion. I got to get this thing off. And now everybody starts to think. Everybody starts to come together. But this is the fight business, right? You have a lot of different emotions. There was nothing wrong with what Aljo said of, guys, stay away from me and give me a break. I've earned one. There was nothing wrong with that. But there was also nothing wrong. You want to know one thing did happen that was interesting, and we shouldn't leave this out. Dana White went to the press conference, and they asked him, what do you do next for Aljo? And you know what Dana said? I know a lot of you didn't see it, but you think you got the right answer, right? You're raising your hand. Yes, I didn't see it, but I know what Dana said. He said, we'll have to see. We'll have to figure it out. You would normally be right. Dana said Henry Cejudo out of nowhere. Out of absolute nowhere, Dana said, I think Henry Cejudo. Now, Dana also wasn't armed with the information that 48 hours into the future, Sugar Sean is going to be ranked number 1 in the world, that they were going to move him up 10 spots. We all stand back. We look at this thing one more time. And eventually, you got to turn it over to the fans. So, Sugar Sean wants to be world champion. I believe that. Sugar Sean would like to fight Aljo. Sugar Sean doesn't want to be told no, and he doesn't want to wait. Now, Sugar Sean, I believe this. I don't know this to be true. I believe Sugar Sean saw statements by Aljo and thought that was not attainable. Getting Aljo is not obtainable, regardless of what I've done, regardless that I beat Jon, regardless that I'm ranked number 1, and I'm not going to go out there and look thirsty. Therefore, I'm going to come up with a new idea. I think I'm close to the psychology. So that new idea had to do with Cheeto, which was the right thing to do. I mean, that was a pretty cool move by Sean. Cheeto has been very gracious to Sean in the media. These guys are bitter rivals. They despise one another, and now Sean was gracious back while having the rivalry. But I don't believe that they can go as far as to make up for an interim belt. We don't interim championships when there's an unwillingness. I'm just reminding you of that, because I'm fully aware that we are going to adhere to the rules that we make up on the spot. I got that, but I am going to have a personal problem if we do not use the mechanism known as stripping if a champion is able and ready but unwilling. Very important. Very important that we adhere to some of these clauses and some of these terms. So what do you do at 135 pounds? Where does Henry want to go? Of all of the points and all of the ideas that I've just thrown at you right there, I do feel possibly the strongest that if Henry Cejudo returns and they would like to use him in a world championship fight, that we would all understand that. When the champion who never lost comes back. Now, when I tell you what I like to do is to sit back and then scold. I like to make everybody know all of the things that they've done wrong. This one for me is baffling in that everything that's been discussed for Henry versus Aljo, both by Henry and both by Aljo, has to do with Perth. Okay, now Perth, Australia, just so you understand, this is not where you put big fights. The fact that somebody would ask to fight in Perth, for me, is going to be head-scratching, okay? This is not Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world. This isn't in California. This isn't in New York. They're not arguing about Cowboy Stadium. They're talking about going to Perth. Now, some of you might have not done well in geography, but if you ever go look it up, Perth is the most isolated capital on Earth. There's not a lot going on there. That's okay. Set the cage up wherever you want, right? We made it through a pandemic. I'm just sharing for you. The argument to get on a card in Perth is weird for me, but I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is the Perth card already has a main event, and you know it. You know that Volkanovski versus Islam is going to be the headlining act. So now you're fighting to be in the co-spot. What do I do? And what do I do? Aljo's last fight, world champion, he was in the co-spot. Henry's last fight, retired as world champion, he was in the co-spot. But if we start to get comfortable with the co-spot, if we start to get comfortable with number 2, I mean, I think that you will see the problem. And these are champions. They would agree with me. They would agree with me. You can't become number 1 when you're comfortable with number 2, but Perth already has a main event. So now we're arguing, we're playing games, we're going back and forth, and we're trying to get the media and the audience behind us for a co-main event in an unfavorable location that has never held a mega fight in the history of Earth. I could go on. I could elaborate, but do I need to? But all the information there. Which way you're going to go with the piece? I mean, right, you got to do a little bit for me here. But what do you think? Do you think that we should see politics, that we should see back and forth, that we should see a possible stripping, that we should create an interim championship? Do you think that we should go to lengths this great, with talent this wonderful, and prizes this high for a co-main event?